Lafayette is the best city in the entire world, and in today's video, I'm going to tell you guys 15 reasons why I think it's absolutely the best city. My name is Abshire. I'm a real estate agent, and I love making content about living in Lafayette, Louisiana. So sit back, relax, and enjoy why I tell you the 15 reasons why it might be the perfect city for you. Number one would be the Cajun cuisine. Of course, our food is world famous. I have a very special place in my heart for the food from here. Yes, I am born and raised from this area, but I have lived in different parts of the country. And I will say that I think Lafayette's cuisine is some of the best. We've actually been voted as being one of the best cuisines in the country multiple times. It's definitely worth trying. Cajun food really is known for the spices, for the seafood that we have, the amount of flavors and different things that we bring. There's lots of roux-based type dishes. So if you think of things like gumbo or stews, a roux is really mixed with flour and butter, or sometimes used with oil. It makes it dark, what you would think of as a gravy, and it really gives this really bold taste and flavor. One of my favorites is actually okra gumbo, and that one actually doesn't have any roux in it. The roux is actually made from just cooking down okra, and it's pretty delicious. I recently learned that that was inspired by Dominican and African culture, which I thought was amazing. But there are definitely some must-try dishes in our area that I feel like are super important for you to try if you come down here. Boudin being one of them. Boudin is a casing that has meat and it has rice in it, and it's spicy and it's really delicious. It almost looks like a sausage if you look at it, but you can see through the casing and you'll see that there's the ground meat and rice within it, and it's usually pretty spicy. There's things that you would know as cracklins, of course, but the Cajun way we call it gratons, but it is basically fried fat from animals, and I know it sounds disgusting, but it is delicious. You can think of them as pork rinds or cracklins, but we have some of the best in the country I think we've ever had. There's a few notable places. A lot of people like Don's. You can get them also at Abshire's. They're really delicious. Definitely try. Jambalaya is very famous for the area that can have meat and sausage and shrimp, but jambalaya is really delicious. If you can have a lot of these dishes too made at someone's home, you're really going to get the best treat ever. Some restaurants do it really well, but I feel like when you get a home cooked meal from someone who is Cajun, they just have that little bit of touch that just makes it even better. A couple other notable dishes I would definitely recommend trying is any of our seafood. We have some of the best oysters that are fresh from the Gulf because it is not far away from us. And then we have some of the best shrimp. Our shrimp don't have a very fishy taste. They're actually very sweet. They're crunchy, and you would really enjoy Gulf shrimp. So definitely try that as well. Barbecue shrimp is very popular out here, and I know it sounds like you throw them on the grill and throw some barbecue sauce on it and eat it that way, but it's actually not. Barbecued shrimp is actually cooked in a sauce. It's within a shell, and you actually peel them, but it's lots of seasoning and flavor like a gravy, and it goes really good with a French bread that you can dip into it. A po' boy is very famous. It's like a big hoagie sandwich. There'll be seafood. You can get different kinds of meat. Definitely recommend trying po' boys, of course, and crawfish étouffée. If you haven't had crawfish before, you can get them boiled. If you'd like to just try them plain by themselves, we usually dip it in a sauce, but I would definitely recommend trying also crawfish étouffée, which is put into a rich creamy gravy. They usually pour it over rice. Sometimes you can get it over fish, but it is very delicious, super rich, flavorful. Definitely worth a try. Definitely try it. The food scene, I would say, really adds a lot to our overall living in this area because everything within Louisiana culture really revolves around food, gathering together, and it's really strong in part of our culture, right? Cups of coffee together, sitting around, gathering around the table, having strong drinks, and just having a good time. We love to laugh, we love to play music, and we do. We're very passionate about our food. So if anybody's having an event, you can guarantee there is going to be a spread or some type of food happening. If you ever go to a tailgate, that's for the Raging Cajuns in Lafayette. Obviously, people are grilling, making all types of meat and food. You're just going to have a wonderful time. So I definitely recommend getting into some gatherings and hanging out with friends or family or anyone you know in this area. And of course, the restaurants will provide everything you're looking for as well. Next up would be our rich cultural heritage. Really, from our area, all of our descendants, or our heritage is really a mixture of French, it's Spanish, and Creole regional cultures that all kind of blend together, right? And so because of this, you feel like these different touches that are taken from different cultures, and you'll see them within our dishes, or even some of the language or the Cajun words or things that you hear. A lot of it is all based on, things that would have been from France or things that would have come from African culture that had slowly immigrated here. A lot of the dishes, the Creole dishes, all have African, flavors or different forms of it that would have been passed to this area. So of course you can see that started to change some of that culture and really blend it together to give us what we got as our Cajun culture now. Of course, we're really known for our festivals in the area. We have a lot of really famous festivals that a lot of people love visiting and going to. Of course, Breaux Bridge has a crawfish festival that many people are familiar with and really have a great time and enjoy. We are world renowned for our International Music Festival. Every single year it seems to just get better and better, get better artists. And what's beautiful is it's absolutely free. It's done by donation. There's so much food, there's drinks, all the restaurants open up and they're offering different bites and different things that you can have. There's music and it's fun for the entire family. There are different art walks and art festivals that we have in the area. The local music scene is pretty amazing. People really are aware of our Zydeco or Cajun music. Zydeco can tend to have a Cajun-esque sound to it. It includes the accordion and it usually has a bit of a faster pace to it. You can do things like the jitterbug, there's the two-step, there is a dance that is literally called the Zydeco, and it really is just done with a partner and stepping back and forth. You can find different festivals or different places where you can find these different types of music or different types of dancing, and it's really, really fun. There's plenty of people here that still know how to do all of these dances and still teach them, so you can definitely still learn this culture and learn this part of the dances, and you'll have a great time. I promise if you give it a try, you'll love it and love our music. Number 3 would be the cost of owning a house here in the area. So what is the average price points for the cost of living or for homes here? They can really range depending on the location that you pick, but in the Lafayette Parish area, I would say you really get to see prices from $250,000 being about the median average price range, right? But if you move to different parts of the city, like closer to Youngsville, where it is a bit more expensive, mostly new construction, that price range tends to climb closer to $300,000. But you definitely even have affluent areas throughout Lafayette, right? River Ranch has $1 million homes that sit on the river. You have some pocket new subdivisions such as Audubon Plantation or Brookshire, which all have luxury new construction homes. They're built a little tighter together, but they're right there in town if you're looking for more of a luxury feel. And then of course there's first-time home buyer areas or places that have entry-level homes that you can find spread throughout. There's plenty of surrounding suburbs that are really close by. It only takes you 10, maybe 15 minutes to get right into town, and you still feel like you're not necessarily right into the city. So I definitely encourage you to look at the prices of homes, not only within Lafayette proper, but at some of the suburbs that might be a great fit for you for the price range or what you get in those areas, and it would be easy for you to get right back in town if that is your desire. How do the property taxes compare in our area versus others? I would say it's pretty on par. There are a couple of areas that are noteworthy for having low property taxes. So Broussard is known for having a very low sales tax for the area. It has the lowest of our area, but amazingly enough, Youngsville is one of the fastest growing cities in Louisiana, and it has been for years, but it also has the lowest property taxes. So it's really been a wonderful city. It's great for families. There's lots of fun things to do there. It's very suburbia feeling, and because it's a younger area that just really started to take off, you'll find that they have a lot of things that are continuing to develop there, and that it's slowly with time getting better and better. I also think it's noteworthy and interesting that when you look at the affordability of the homes in the area, it's actually 12% lower than the national average. You can get a bit more bang for your buck here, right? Because we are a young and up and coming city, we still have a lot of growth that can happen, and so you can still get in while prices are not soaring just high yet. So I definitely think there's opportunities for making great investments that will slowly increase with time as the city continues to grow. Number 4 would be the friendly community. People are very friendly out here. It is the reason why I moved away and I moved back to this area. It is one of those areas where you drive through neighborhoods and people will wave at you, and if you wave, they will wave back. Most people are very helpful and friendly, will point you in the right direction and get you where you need to go. I've been invited or taken in for different events or different places, and I felt like I was an outsider or I shouldn't be here. I feel like I'm crashing. Most of the time, they are more than welcome that you're there. If your friend brought you, they're like, you're welcome, your family. So you don't have to feel like an outsider here. We're very welcoming and friendly. It's part of our Southern culture and hospitality. I think what's noteworthy is that you have neighbors who can genuinely care. Of course, every area has neighbors that cannot be so great, but for the most part, I've had really positive experiences. Like in the subdivision I am in now, I'm actually very sad to be selling my home because my neighbor across the street is so kind. She has actually on multiple times put my trash cans back for me if she noticed I was gone for too long, or has even grabbed my Amazon packages for me because she was worried somebody would steal them and held on to them for me and gave them back to me. So those types of things you can't find always everywhere, and I think that's a kindness and a beauty about this area. If I needed something or if they need something, they've always been, welcoming and coming knock on the door, or if you ask for help, they're always there. We're watching out for each other. If you look good and hard and you pick the right places, you can definitely find those types of neighborhoods. I think local events definitely are huge for bringing people together. We have things like Rhythms on the River and Sugar Jam, which are great times that communities get together and they listen to live music. We enjoy food and drinks outside in the springtime when the weather's nice, or in the fall. And I think we really put a lot of emphasis on these gatherings. They bring families, kids, older people, young, different cultures and backgrounds. It really is a city where we love to gather together and enjoy all of these things together. And I think that's rare in some communities. You don't see it so much. It can be very cliquey, or maybe it's harder to find groups or things to do. And I think Lafayette really has a beautiful, rich culture that not everybody knows about until you really start to dig in and dive in. It's one of those places that I think it's a well-kept secret in Louisiana, but it's not being kept so long because we're growing and a lot of people are starting to find out how wonderful of a place we are. Number 5 would be our vibrant art scene. What's beautiful about Lafayette is we love our Southern art. We love artists and everything that they bring. If you stroll through downtown Lafayette, you'll see plenty of art galleries. There is the Acadiana Center for Arts. It's a beautiful building, modern contemporary, that displays some of our local artists. But we also have even musicians. A lot of people don't even know this, but Lauren Daigle, she's a Christian music singer. She actually is from Lafayette, Louisiana. But there are multiple artists actually who have come from Lafayette and have made names for themselves. But just even here within Lafayette, there are different bands, different musicians who are very talented. There are different artists. Everything you can think of on the art side of things, we have it here in Lafayette and it is happening. So if art is your thing, you're definitely going to enjoy it. As far as live shows or live art, there are a few places that you can go and see some live theater work, but currently most of the plays or anything that we have are being done at the Hyman Center. But the Hyman Center is going to be eventually phased out. We are looking to put a brand new theatric center for arts and for live performances. They are currently working on the exact location that they're going to be putting it downtown, and it is a very large upscale project that'll be happening. So we're very excited for this. It's just still in the beginning planning stages, but we very soon will have a performing live arts center, which I think will be great for Broadway plays and any kind of other shows that you enjoy to see. So you can definitely find any kind of entertainment along those sides. If you're looking for the art and the rich culture of that side, you will be able to find those things as well. Number 6 would be the outdoor activities. Louisiana is called the sportsman's paradise, and it's for a reason. There is so many things to do outdoors in Louisiana if you're not going to sweat to death, because it does get really hot here in the summers. But fishing is very popular out here because you have two different types. You can do freshwater fishing in all of the rivers and the lakes and the swamps that we have here, but then the bay is also not far, maybe a 45-minute to an hour drive, and you can have saltwater fishing. It does not take long to get out there, and you can do all of the saltwater fishing you want. Of course, hunting, whether it is for ducks or deer, boar, we have all of that type of hunting as well. That is all here within seasons, and of course you can enjoy all of that. There is bike riding, there's hiking trails that you can do. Louisiana is relatively flat unless you go up more north, but there are still plenty of nature walks and trails that you can visit. A lot of people don't even know, but Tabasco, the factory is here, the very first one that you can go and visit just south of Lafayette in New Iberia, and it has some of the most beautiful scenery with swamps. You can find gators, nutra, beautiful oak trees, and when the azaleas are blooming in the spring, it's absolutely beautiful with flowers. But it really gives you a feel of what Louisiana would have looked like hundreds of years ago before settlers came in. There's water sports. You can get jet skis out on the river, boats, People will do kneeboarding and do water skiing. There's tubing, all of those things that you can do out on the water. And there's plenty of parks like Munkus Park, which is absolutely beautiful and outdoorsy. There's plenty to do. There's dog parks that are all in the area and been up and coming, but you can guarantee that you can find plenty to do in the outdoors. So number 7 would be educational opportunities. So what opportunities are there available for maybe your kids? Well, we have public and private schools. As far as the ratings go, I can't really give you my opinion on those things, but what I usually recommend is to use websites such as niche.com, and you can look at some of the ratings of the different schools. But we do have schools in this area for public that are rated higher in certain areas, so I would definitely look into those areas so you can find which ones are the best for your family. And then also there are great charter and private schools that are in this area. There is quite a few that are very highly rated, and some that are even done on a lottery system where your kids have to earn their way into it. And then of course we have higher education. We have community colleges throughout the area, such as SLCC being a reputable one, South Louisiana Community College. And we also have UL, which most people are familiar with, University of Louisiana, that is of Lafayette. And that one is our big university that is in the center of downtown Lafayette. It's a pretty large campus, and it is world renowned for its education. I think its art program is the one that is known the most, and also we have some of the best softball programs for this area. You may wonder about libraries and other places for education. Well, there is the Lafayette Public Library that was renovated not too long ago, so we have a newer facility there, which is great. You can hold public events, and of course it's open. You can find that real estate has gotten more affordable in this area, in particularly because it is an up-and-coming city. Even though Lafayette has been established for hundreds of years, really it still has a lot of growth opportunities, and there's still plenty of time for real estate to continue to increase in value. Just in the past 5 to 10 years, you can see the prices have changed dramatically in the area. But compared to the rest of the country and the average price point, the rest of the country is up to almost $400,000 being your median price point, and we're only set at around $250,000, $255,000. So obviously there's still great opportunities here to find affordable living. And of course the food and the cost of everything, I would say it's just slightly below what the cost is for most big cities and other areas that you go. Restaurants, food, groceries, all of those things really compare to the national average. They are all set just lower than the national average cost of living, so you can find a lifestyle here that can be more affordable for you and your family. As far as cost of transportation, a lot of people may wonder about public transit and things. We really don't have a lot of public transit here, so I would definitely be aware. You have to own a car. There's not a whole lot of public transit. We don't have train systems or anything. You really can use a bus system if you are in town, but again, I don't really say we have great public transit, so I really would plan on having a car. If you want to use Uber, which can get quite expensive depending how far you're going to traverse across the city, but I definitely recommend having a car. I have heard and seen many times that we do have a very high insurance rate here for cars and automobiles, so just keep that in mind, that you will have maybe a slightly higher auto insurance on your car for this area, and also depending on the zip code and area that you're in. Number 9 would be the safety and security for the area. So many will wonder, well, what places of security or what systems do they have in place? Well, of course, we have services just like everywhere else. You can always go to websites online or look up in public websites such as the police station to find out where their most call-outs or reports are happening. You can find all types of reports online that can talk about crime and safety of certain neighborhoods and areas, and it will really give you paint you a picture of what's going on. You can obviously see some of the smaller towns that surround Lafayette. They have gone a bit down in the idea of there's a lot more crime ridden. There's some gang areas that you want to be aware of. Search online, you can find grades and safety scores and different things that are in place, and it will help you make a good decision for you and what's the best area. Local neighborhoods, like I told you the story earlier, can help with security. Definitely recommend getting to know your neighbors and becoming good friends so you guys can watch out for each other's stuff. That's always a nice thing, but just like anywhere else, Ring cameras or having camera systems around your home always ensures that it will deter away people from the areas. It really just depends. If you move further out of the city, the chances do tend to decrease depending on the location of any crimes happening. But of course, just being in the city doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have those issues. I've lived around the city and I haven't had any issues with anything of that nature, but that doesn't mean that doesn't ever going to happen. Just something to be aware of, something to look for, and of course, get to know your neighbors and be a good neighbor. Number 10 would be the healthcare facilities. Many people wonder what the healthcare is like here. Well, we have actually pretty significant healthcare for the area. One of the big systems that we have that was introduced here, it switched from Lafayette General to Abshire Healthcare Lafayette General. And so Abshire has control of a lot of different health facilities here. And then also on the south side, we also have Lady of Lourdes. Lady of Lourdes is also another pretty large healthcare facility. It's one of the newer hospitals in our area. A lot of people do go there for healthcare, and all of them are highly rated and well known for having decent care. Of course, it's not far if you do need to trek toward Houston or New Orleans for much more specialized care. You can of course go there, but there are specialists here and you can get pretty much everything you need done here. There's just, I would say, for a bigger scale, any cancer treatment centers or things like that, you're likely going to go outside of this area to find anything of that nature. Number 11 would be the mild winters. So Louisiana is not known for having harsh winters at all. It's very rare that you'll see ice or that you'll see snow here or any kind of storms of that nature. I think this year I pulled out my warm winter coat maybe for a total of 2 weeks as far as days go in wintertime. So we really don't have a lot of hard, really cold freezes. There are times where the cold freezes will come through. They only last usually a few days to maybe a week, and then it tends to get back to a more neutral temperature. If you're trying to get away from the snow and the cold in the north, then definitely say this area will get you away from that. What can you do here during the mild winter months? Well, people still do a lot of outdoor stuff. So if there's not rain or wet weather, you can still go out and hikes and still enjoy other outdoorsy things. Hunting and fishing, of course, is something that still happens in the winter time. So obviously, those are things that you can do with the family. But of course, there's indoor activities. You can go shopping, and there's lots of other things that you can do with the family. There's lots of different shopping events and things that happen in the area. So those are things that you can also look for. But I will say, living in this area, yeah, there is a huge benefit to not needing to worry about snow and ice. You don't need the snow change. You don't need the special tires. It really, in actuality, the few times that I've ever even seen us have ice or snowstorms, a lot of things shut down. Schools shut down, even work facilities will shut down because they want people to be safe. We're just not prepared for serious ice storms here because they never happen. There's a benefit, I would say, to this area where you don't really have to worry about those things much. It's super rare. And, you know, if it does happen, the good thing is you enjoy a day off. Number 12 would be the festivals and the events that we have here. I know I touched on that when I talked about the arts and the different things that we have, but there are tons of festivals for almost everything that we have, and there's plenty of events that you can constantly attend that are happening in the area. There's ribbon cuttings for different businesses. There's always things that are happening with the Chamber of Commerce. There are different arts and music festivals that are happening. You can find places that play live music and live bands, places to go dance. There's nightlife and clubs, all of those things that you can look forward to. There is the Cajun Dome, so they have live events. There's concerts and different name artists that will come to those areas, so you can go and enjoy some pretty amazing artists there, which is really great. But the beautiful thing is, it doesn't matter about the age group or, you know, the culture that you come from. We have all different types of events and festivals that are based around those cultures. There's something for all ages that you will enjoy, so definitely look into those things. Number 13 would be our local markets and shops. So we are really strong on the fact that we love local. Yes, there's some national brands and some big companies here that are also very popular, but we love our local artists and our local stores, and we love supporting local restaurants and things. So you will find, even on some community pages, they try to remind everybody to go and eat local and to keep these local places alive and thriving, because we really want to make sure we keep Louisiana people here in Louisiana and our economy constantly growing and thriving. On the weekends, you can find farmers markets in different areas. There's one in Brobridge. I know there's one that is down in Abbeville area. There is one in Lafayette right at Munkus Park. So definitely don't miss the farmers markets if you like crafts and artisan things. I've heard they got some amazing pizza at the farmers market in Lafayette, but there's plenty of things to do and plenty of things to look at. So definitely go and check those out on the weekend, especially when the weather's nice. And of course, there's a variety of shopping things. If you're looking for modern conveniences, there are, of course, small and boutique stores where you can find clothing and different specialty items, or even Louisiana cultured specific items if you have gifts for people maybe for out of town. But as far as clothes go, we have the Acadiana Mall. It's not as great as it used to be, but we do have a lot of outside shopping centers. So places like Home Goods, we have Lululemon, we have J. Crew that's coming, we have Old Navy. So we have a lot of different clothing brands that you would be used to or that you've seen in different areas. So there's places that you can go and there is shopping. I wouldn't say we are the strongest on the shopping scene, but it's getting better. We have a lot of new companies that are coming in and moving into the area, and so the shopping scene is beginning to improve. Number 14 would be access to the Gulf Coast. Well, a lot of people think when you look at Louisiana that, it might be right on the water. Well, we're very close to the Gulf Coast. It's about 45 minutes to an hour to get to the actual Gulf or to get to the coast, the water. But the beautiful thing is you can even get to it by boat. We have the Vermilion River that passes right through Lafayette, and it shoots all the way down to the bay where you can go, you can fish, you can get on the water, and you can find that salt water that you're looking for. And so that is beautiful being right there on the coast. And of course, it makes all of our seafood so fresh. There aren't a lot of beaches in the area. A lot of people may think that. There is Cypremont Point, which is one of the beaches that is probably closest to us. It's about an hour and a half, I would say, to get there. And it's not beautiful. It is a beach and it is water and you can get in it, but it's not the prettiest. The Mississippi River seems to really muddy up a lot of the water from this area. And so because of that, our water is not pretty. It is a brown color. I think that muddy water is what's making our seafood so great. There's an up and a downside to, those things. But a lot of fun things that a lot of people enjoy about the Gulf Coast is, of course, if you do go to places like Cypremont Point, people have camps or places that they go for the weekend. And what's really nice is they have usually porches that sit out. You can look out over the open water. They usually have boats and different boating things that they'll do. You can go and fish on the dock. You can hang out on the sandy beaches. You can go to the wharf or to the jetties, and you can do exploring on those areas and things that I know you would still enjoy. And last but not least would be our strong economy, number 15. So the economy is thriving here. It's beautiful. We're growing. Broussard is just a neighboring city and is known for its thriving oil economy. So the oil field is really large in that area, and we have a lot of big oil field tech companies that have moved in. There's a much higher growth we're seeing on the end of the medical scene. So there's lots of job opportunities and things that are growing. We are really focused on our economy staying healthy and trying to keep Louisiana kids and people who are growing up and college people staying here, not going to all of the big cities, but rather staying in Lafayette and continuing to grow and build our economy. Of course, the economic outlook for the areas, I've attended many of these events and meetings, so that the Chamber of Commerce and things where they're showing the potential development, the new businesses that we have moving in, the tax breaks that they're trying to give these businesses and incentives they're trying to. The beautiful thing is when we put our minds to it and really start to focus on different areas, we have been able to revamp them. Years ago, downtown was on the downslide. There really wasn't great things happening there. It was very dead from what I knew it as when I was younger. And then now we see it really starting to thrive again. There's many more shops, amazing restaurants, so many cool restaurants to go and visit. There's bars. It's just a much livelier scene than it used to, and it's all because of the efforts of the city that they put the money towards it, and they said, we are going to make this great and get better businesses out there, and they did, and they've been successful. And so downtown is growing, and it's getting better and better every day. Of course, as a real estate agent, I know I could always go on about the home prices and affordability and all of those things that make Lafayette really, really strong to live at. But if you have any questions about moving here, living here, you want to buy here, or maybe you even want to sell from here, any of those questions, I'll put my number right below. It's all in the description for you. So feel free to connect with me or me and my team. You can text me, call me, email me, book a call with me, and I would love to speak with you or your family and find out what your goals are and how we can help you. I also recently recorded a video about the best suburbs to live at in Lafayette, so go and check that one out. You might find more info that is helpful. But thank you so much for joining me in this video and my love fest with Lafayette, and I will see you guys in the next one.